Hello, today we are learning slope-intercept form y isolated for our flex day. We will start at the top here with a quick explanation. So this tells us to identify the slope m and y-intercept b and then graph the equation. So we have this formula. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. The number in front of the x, that is always our slope. So in this case, it is -4. The number that's either added or subtracted, not with the x, is our b. That is our y-intercept. So if you look down here, we have b. You can think of that as your beginning. This is where you start. That's not actually what that means. This is just to help you remember. And then your m, your slope, means how you move. So on this problem, we begin at 3 on the y-axis. It's the y-intercept. And then you move your slope amount. So our slope is called rise over run. So we are going to rise -4, and we are going to run 1. Now notice you could also rise +4 and run -1. These two things are equivalent to each other. Does not matter how you go about doing it. So we can go down 4 and then right 1 and down 4 and then right 1 for our slope. Notice we put points at each of these spots. Or you can go up 4 and left 1 and so on. So if we read through the steps over here, it says first identify the slope m, make it a fraction if it's not already, like we did here, and y-intercept b by comparing the equation to this slope formula. Sometimes they're not written like this though, you might have to rewrite them into y equals mx plus b. Begin at the y-intercept, which is b, and then move by your slope, which is m. Plot as many dots as possible, and then connect all of your dots with a line. Reminder, don't be lazy, don't be crazy. Make sure you actually draw a straight line with arrows that goes off of the graph. Let's go ahead and do some examples. These first 6 problems, all you have to do is identify your slope and your y-intercept. So remember, your slope is always in front of your x. So our slope here is 2. Our y-intercept is the number added or subtracted after, so this is 4. We continue on. Our slope for this problem is in front of the x. It is -1/3. And our y-intercept is 7 added behind. These ones are pretty simple. Your slope is -5/4. Your y-intercept is -3. For 4, your slope is -1. Reminder guys, when there is not a number in front of a variable, it's just the number 1. In this case, -1. And then our y-intercept is -6. These last two get a little tricky. Our slope is in front of x here, it's 4/3, but there is no y-intercept. If there is not something added or subtracted after this, the y-intercept is 0. And question 6 is also a little bit tricky because there's no x at all in this problem. Our y-intercept does exist though, it's just -7. When there is no x, that means our slope is 0. Now we've actually learned already how to graph this line. This is just a horizontal line here. That is when you have a slope of 0. Okay, now we're going to work backwards, and we are going to take the information we're given and we're going to put it in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So slope is always m. Y-intercept is b. So all I have to do is plug this stuff in. y equals 8x plus 2. Or over here, y equals 1/2 x minus 6. And question 9, y equals -2/3x plus 2. Now I realize I went through all of these questions pretty fast. That's because this is just like introductory stuff. We have to know how to graph these things with the equation, okay? So 10 and 11, also going to go pretty quickly through. Our y-intercept B, easy to find. We move up 2 points. B is 2. Our slope, on the other hand, we can just count. I rise 1, 2. I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope is 2/5. It also tells me to find the equation of the line. So the equation of this line is y equals 2/5x plus 2. Having this information here just helps us break it down to then write our equation. The next one, they did not give us any pretty points. When I say pretty points, I mean where your line crosses your graph at a nice intersection. You don't want to use like one of these middle points, I'll put it in red, because you don't know what that decimal is. You're just guessing at that point. So I highlighted in purple a couple pretty points here. We can count our slope. So we rise 1. We run left 1, 2, 3, so that's a -3. So our slope is 1, -3. Our B is at -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I write the equation of this line, we have y equals 1/-3x minus 6. And this is our slope-intercept equation of our line. Make sure, guys, since you can use these notes on your tests and quizzes, you really should take down this, write it down on paper. If you need to pause me at any time, make sure you do that. Okay, so we're just going to continue on with this sort of thing. I think we'll do the odds here. No, I take it back. We're going to do the evens. We're going to do 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. And then we'll also talk about 21. So for 12, it asks us to find the slope and the y-intercept and then graph it. So our slope, once again, is always in front of x. That is our m value. We have 2/3. B is the number added at the back, plus 1, or subtracted sometimes. B, as it said, is where we begin. So you plot a point on the y-intercept. Remember, you always begin somewhere on this line. Do not begin somewhere on this line. Since I have that point now, I can use my slope. I need to rise 2 and run 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to plot there. Now I'm not going to continue to make those little squiggles because it would get kind of crazy looking. So I'm just going to count up 2 and over 3, over and over again. Now that only gets me points one direction. An equivalent slope to this is down 2 and left 3. It continues the graph in a straight line. So I can draw in the rest of my points and my line. These all work very similar. This is a -3/2 slope with a y-intercept of -2. So I begin at -2 and then I graph. Since I have a -3/2, I have to go down 3 and then right 2, down 3 and then right 2. Equivalent to this is up 3 and then left 2. Up 3 and left 2. Continue that pattern until you run out of graph, and then you can draw in your straight line and add your arrows. Okay, do you guys notice that question 12 has a positive slope and question 14 has a negative slope? Do you also notice how this line is slanted this way and this line is slanted the other way? That is something that is true about positive and negative slopes. Positive slopes always are angling this way. Negative slopes angles the other direction. Now guys, I like to think about a capital N and how the diagonal of a capital N for negative goes in the direction of a negative slope. You can think about that if you want to, you don't have to, but that's just an easy way to check, did I get my graph angled the correct direction? Did I plot my slope correctly? Question 16. We have a slope here of 4, which I'm going to write as 4 over 1, because I need to rewrite them as a fraction. And then it looks like our beginning, our B information is missing, but we talked about this earlier. If it's not written, it's 0. So we begin at 0, and then we rise 4 and run 1, and rise 4 and run 1. Remember, equivalent to that is going down 4 and left 1, down 4 and left 1. And then I can graph in my line. Reminder, if you need to pause me or go back, you can. Looking at question 18, our slope is -3 over 2. Our y-intercept is 4. So I begin at 4. Then I go down 3 and right 2. Recall, negative, guys, either means you are moving down, like in this case, or it means you are moving left. Positive, you are moving up or right. So that's why I'm going down 3, but right 2. So down 3, right 2, down 3, right, oh, sorry, that was wrong. Down 3, right 2, down 3, right 2. And also, equivalently, this is the same as being 3 over -2. So I can go up 3 and left 2, up 3 and left 2. And then I draw in my line. 2 more problems to go. We've talked about this one before. When you do not have an x value, that means your slope is 0. This also means that we are going to have a horizontal line. We've done a whole lesson about graphing horizontal and vertical lines. Our y-intercept is -4, so that is where we begin. And because your slope is 0, it is actually just a horizontal line here that crosses -4. Okay, lastly, you actually had some problems like this on your Delta a couple days ago. It says your cell phone plan costs $40 per month. Your cell phone company charges 20 cents for each minute you use over your plan. Write an equation in slope-intercept form that models the amount of money in S dollars you will have to pay if you went over your plan in N minutes. So S is going to be like our Y. M is how many minutes you can be charged for. So if it's 20 for each minute, it is going to be 0.20 times M plus your base rate of $40. And that's actually your solution to that. That is your slope-intercept formula. We could actually graph that if we wanted to, switch the decimal into a fraction, but it doesn't ask us to, so we're not gonna. All right, that is all your notes for today. You do have a delta that is open for you. That is just graphing. You don't have to write out M, you don't have to write out B. All you have to do is graph some of these equations. So make sure you work on that. It will be due in 2 days from when it was assigned. So make sure you get that done. Have a great day, guys. Bye.